So they go off and spend the money. They rent a hotel room. They get themselves all dolled up. I think they get like haircuts and like Jim Carrey's feet are awful. They get news.
Yeah.
They find out in the newspaper that Mary. Oh, what are you going to say?
Go on, sorry. Go on.
No, I was just about to say. This is where they basically start getting out suits because they find Mary is having an international animal society dinner thing. So, this is the suit you're wearing, Darren. Very fancy suit.
Alright, I gotta put my hat back on for this, sorry.
But are they playing Pretty Woman?
Yeah, Pretty Woman.
Like Pretty Woman. And it's Harry is playing like the Richard Gere character. He's like the big cigar.
Yeah. I suppose this is the thing where they open the fucking
I didn't get that. I didn't know that was a reference. I've never seen Pretty Woman, so
I've never seen it either. But again, I've seen so many references to it now.
Right.
Yeah. The snap thing that was apparently that was ad-libbed as well. Snap. In Pretty Woman, not in this. So they go to the international endangered animal owl thing, and they look fabulous. They finally spot Mary, and Lloyd tells Harry to go over and chat her up and say, "Okay, make me look good." What does he say? He goes, tell her how handsome I am. I'm like, she's seen you. She has seen you physically.
Tell her I've got a rapist wit.
Hey, Darren,
a rapist wit.
Can you just look to your left slightly and do a stupid Jim Carrey smile? There it is.
Hey!
You're right beside him on the screen right now.
If you you just shave off the beard and you spit an image.
Oh shit! So I didn't even think that. I was actually going to shave off, lads. I was going to put the gap in my tooth there. I was really going to, and then of course I had fucking ructions in the house, so I didn't
What
like.
What did we do for that? Did we put tape on your tooth that time?
No, I had a what's it called? Spirit gum. It was like a black spirit gum.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, when I got it at first, I was like, that's not going to work. There's no way. And actually, when I blacked it out, I was like, I couldn't get it off my teeth. I couldn't. Because I just took it's like for all the world a little nail varnish like brush, and I just like dabbed it. But as I dabbed it and I knocked it, and then I put it over the whole two front of my teeth, so it looked like I had no front teeth. So I had to scrape it off I had to scrape the two teeth off like that. But it took me like 45 minutes, and like from the time I put it on to the time I got it perfect on my tooth, to the time actually we went on stage and did the show was about a month. So it stayed there for a solid fucking month. But
you just put Tipex on it. You just Tipex it and you'll be fine.
Yes, and we had a girl actually just cut my hair, but like as she was saying, she put my hair, she gelled it all down and she was cutting my hair in the bowl. She felt it was Becky feeling, and she was like she was sweating. She was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. She goes, oh my God, I feel so horrible.
It's a proper 90s haircut, like a step in your hair, yeah?
She literally cut the whole front of my hair off. And when I walked out, I must have looked so stupid because I walked in the mirror. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. She was like, are you looking at yourself in the mirror? Are you actually looking at what I did to you? I was like, yeah. I was like so happy. I was like, oh my God,
I look so stupid.
She was like, why are you smiling? Why are you smiling at your hair like that? Like that's what people give out about when they get drunk, and people do that to them when they're falling asleep. What are you talking about? I was like, oh, I'm just so happy. But like, yeah, it stayed on me. But obviously, Jim had the cap on his tooth that he took out. But yeah, those suits, lads, those suits are just the tits. I swear.
I want those hats. Those like just the top hat. Even this is the orange top hat would be perfect. So Harry goes over to Mary, and there. Should have gone.
Which one do you want, dude?
I want yellow. Well, I want the blue one. I want the baby blue one. I like baby blue. It's my color, man. There you go. It's fancy. That's double as fancy as before. Harry goes over to Mary and goes, nice set of hooters you got there. And I thought that was a pretty good joke. I like that joke.
That's a great line. That's a
because there was two owls there. So Harry goes back after being set up with Mary by, I thought that was like her mom, but no, it's her friend.
Is it?
I honestly thought that was her mom.
Mother-in-law. Was it
No,
her
that's her
stepmother?
mother.
Maybe it is the mother-in-law or something. Oh no, wait, why would... Because
Yeah,
your
that's
son
what
is
makes it
captured!
No, that's her
I don't-
stepmom.
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
I just
Oh, okay.
my wires got crossed and I thought mother-in-law, but yeah, stepmother makes way more sense.
Yeah, she
But
called her by her
she's
first
already
name.
married, so
Yeah, that again got me. I was like,
it's
why
so
is
weird.
she... Yeah.
No, it's her. Sorry, I didn't say her stepmom. Her mom. It's Helen Swanson. It's her mother.
It is her
But she
mother.
calls her by her first name.
What?
She calls it by her first name.
Helen. Yeah. Well, her name's Helen Swanson. That's. So I would assume it's her mom.
I don't know, it just confused me a little bit. I was like, I thought they were like parent and daughter, but no, she was like Helen, and I was like, oh, are they friends? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't actually matter at all. But those small things confuse me. And then at the end, I was like, oh yeah, she is married. Why is she like hanging out with this guy and kissing him on the cheek and tussling around in the snow? That's a bit
Stepmother.
stepmother. There you go.
This is her stepmother. Okay.
Yeah, okay. And that's like that. There's like a stepmother in it. She's never really even referenced, and yeah, that's fine. Backstory.
How cruel is that, though? I mean, your husband is missing for how long has he been missing? And your stepmother is like, hey,
Yeah.
go have fun with this guy.
This rich man.
You
So Harry gets set up with Mary to go skiing the next morning. He goes back to Lloyd and basically explains to him that, oh yeah, I got you the date. It's 10 a.m. in the lobby bar in the lobby. So Jim Carrey gets dressed up as the weirdest looking cowboy ever. Some sort of a Aspen cowboy.
Like retarded brother.
He goes down to the lobby and they're closed, but he asked to sit down at the bar anyway. They'll be open in 45 minutes. We go back to Lloyd or Harry with the tongue stuck on the pole for the ski lift. What does she say? Oh, I don't want to bore you with family stuff. And he goes, oh, thanks. It's just those small little things. I'm like, oh yeah, that was pretty good. We go back to Harry at the bar, and he's actually sitting with the one that we seen earlier in the petrol station, or the gas station, the petrol station. And she is going on about her ex-boyfriend. I don't know, she broke up with him. And Jim Carrey is audibly not giving a shit. He even goes, oh my God, nobody cares. It's like, what the fuck? So she's hanging around there. She's clearly a very lonely lady, or that's what we suspect. So Jim Carrey ends up asking the bartender, okay, do you know where Mary Swanson lives? And he goes, oh yeah, at the big house up at the top of wherever. So
he says to the barman, bartender, do you know Mary Swanson? Your man says, Mary Swanson? Oh yeah.
She comes in here all the time.
What the hell is that supposed to mean? She has dinner.
I know that poor guy gave him a free beer earlier on. What a way to treat a man, huh?
He tore the fucking head off him. She has dinner. Oh, I'm saying you know where she lives or anything. Yeah, big place in Alpine Drive. And he fucks out the door. And he sees the thing on the best joke for me there is he sees the thing on the wall. Say, we landed on the moon.
Yeah, man walks on moon.
Yeah.
So we see Harry dropping off Mary, saying that they'll meet later on. And as he's driving off, Lloyd is up in the kind of cliff little bit, and he sees them together. He's been duped. So they're back at the hotel room, and Harry is like, oh, I said 10 a.m. I thought it must have been 10 p.m. And Lloyd is like, oh, yeah, of course, that's stupid. But he actually laxes him. Oh, yeah, I thought he was a raging alcoholic. He gives a fucking shitloads of laxatives to Harry in his drink with the intention of going to the house at the same time and trying to co-opt Mary. So Jeff Daniels or Harry basically goes to the house, feels a little rumble in his belly, and ends up going to the bathroom. Why does he say he's shaving? It's like stupid. Like you're like, and again, if this was any other movie, I'd be like, that doesn't make any sense. But I'm like, these characters are clearly just so stupid. They're like, I'm shaving in here. I didn't get a chance when I was in a rush. I'm trying to get to the bathroom, and she's like,
doesn't want to tell her he's taking a shit. Like,
he's too much of a classy fucker.
Oh, do you see the picture we have on the screen at the moment?
No, he's
that's not very classy.
Well, she doesn't know that he's parting his cheeks like the Red Sea.
I would have liked to see her turn around and goes, but you didn't have a beard. He was already shaven, right?
He didn't say where he was shaving.
Contrary to popular belief on this screen right now, but some guys do actually grow beards within a few days. Or enough to shave at least.
Yeah.
I do understand that the two of you have trouble.
No, only here and down here. Up here is fine. Up here is okay. Down at the sides and anywhere else that's bare skin is horrible. It can't grow anything.
Baby face.
I can do the whole on it.
Jim Carrey comes to Mary's house and is like, I bought your briefcase. And at first she's like, who the hell is this chap? But she's so startled that finally she's found the briefcase and is willing to be whisked back to his hotel room for Lloyd to basically give her all the money. Jeff is still stuck in the bathroom and, right, I've been in a situation where this has happened, where the toilet doesn't flush. And I'm like, okay, I've done a pretty bad job of the toilet and I need to get rid of the evidence. All you need to do is just get a big basin of water and just empty it in, like simulate a flush, right?
Where'd you get the basin, Jamie?
Well, see, this is the other problem. I just go and get one and not try and take the toilet off the ground and empty it out. Because there's still shit in the toilet, right? And even that, there's a lip. Imagine trying to get around that lip. It would like slush back into the cistern of the toilet.
Jamie, you acted like you'd thought about this whole lot.
Well, I sat there thinking, okay, right. One of the main flaws I was thinking is, it's going to come out the end, but then you realize he has like a towel stuck up at the bottom of the toilet. Did you notice that?
Oh, I actually didn't know.
Yeah, he stuck like a towel at the bottom where it would. Not that stupid. Smart enough to obviously not do that, but he like empties it out and you can hear it sloshing around. But she's gone. She's gone with Lloyd or her. Yeah, Lloyd. So they go back to the hotel room and there's the briefcase. Yay! There's money in it, but probably not. The guy comes along. What's his name? What is his name?
Oh,
the guy in the red suit.
To Harry now.
I'm going for it. Fuck it, why not? Like
switching it up.
Guy. Who is he?
Yeah, who's the kidnapper guy?
Oh, Andre.
Right, that guy. And he also
pronounced Andre.
Andre Agassi.
Like it's yeah.
They open up the briefcase and Lloyd is like, yeah, just as good. IOUs. He's like, oh, my money.
What the hell is this, sir? Where's all the money? That's as good as money, sir. Those are IOUs.
250,000 for a car. It's like, I'd keep on to that one. So
the big one.
So we see Harry then going back to the hotel, or does he go back to the hotel? Yeah, he goes back to the hotel basically to look for Lloyd. And we see a cut of him coming. Excuse yourself. See a cut of him coming down the stairs, and the black one from the petrol station is down at the end of the stairs going, Harry, you never called me back. And then it cuts to him going into the room. So Harry comes in the room, or Lloyd comes in the room. No, Harry comes in the room. So I'm thinking like Harry Christmas. No, that's not the right one. It's Lloyd Christmas, right?
But Mary, the whole joke before this, like the whole scene before your man comes in the room, before Andre comes in the room, is fucking. That's the whole setup for the scene, where she's in the bathroom. He's in the mirror. He's like, Merry Christmas. It's got a nice
Merry
ring to it.
Christmas.
Merry. Like when he's
Mary,
not talking,
I desperately want to make love to a schoolboy.
oh, that's before he walks into this. Like that's the whole setup. That's fucking brilliant.
That
That's
is a really
amazing.
good setup. I like that when he's like, I feel as giddy as a schoolboy. I'm in love, and then it's just like it. I like that little kind of, what would you call it?
Freudian slip.
A Freudian slip, right? Oh no, wait. So Harry comes in and gets pushed onto the bed, basically. So, what's your man's name again?
Andre,
the giant. Andre, pointing the gun at everybody and being like, "Okay, I need a flight to Amsterdam," and he wants a vegetarian meal as well.
yes.
But they're both basically having an argument. Harry and Lloyd are basically having an argument on the bed after discovering that Harry had backstabbed him and taken Mary away for a secret date in the ski lodge. Andre asks which one wants to die first. And they're both like, no, I want to go first. And then Harry goes, yeah, Mary and I went skiing. We made a snowman. She touched my leg. I go, okay, kill him. So he shoots Harry. And then he gets back up again within like pretty much a couple of seconds and is the worst shot ever. Oh, like all the way around him.
Except for he shoots all around your man and never hits your man once. Like with every bullet in the gun.
So good. But then the FBI burst in. Beth Jordan, FBI. And we discover it's actually the one from the petrol station. I like that. I like the way that they were kind of following them all along, trying to suss them out or whatever. That was the most intelligent part of the film, I think. That caught me off. Again, one of those films you kind of forget small little bits. And I like that little payoff in the end. I was like, okay, that's cool. So they rescue the Harry and Lloyd and Mary, put Andre behind bars, and the husband comes back. This is like, actually, I'm going to replace the kung fu bit earlier on with the gun bit now, where I love the guy shouts, he goes, he's got a gun! And then it's just like, turns around, Jim Carrey just shoots the husband. Die! And then it's like, Harry, and he's like, oh, look, yeah, hey, this is my husband. I love that bit. I thought that was really good.
So nice to meet you.
I like when films do that, where they don't cut to what it is and they actually make you believe that it's happening and then cut back.
Yeah.
It's again, one of those things that I completely forgot was in the film. I was like, so funny, so good. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of the film. Like everybody gets saved. Nobody has to give some money back. No, I don't have the very end yet. I'm saying it's the end of the story. It's not the very end of the movie just yet.
So, gosh darn it, you.
Gosh darn it. I know what the end of the film is. It's already up. I've already prepped it. But for how much money was there? It was like $1 million, let's say, or whatever. That was in the briefcase.
Oh,
like a bit.
Fuck those.
Yeah, it was like let's say a million or 2 million, whatever it is. They spent all of that money and never had to pay it back. That was okay. That's what I would have liked to see the second film with them being like, yeah, we're still in debt from paying all that back.
Yeah, but you know, Jamie, that would have been an intelligent.
Because
movie.
what I was trying to say earlier about the film is that what really invalidates the start. Let's say this film came out. You were okay, two losers. They are still losers at the end of it because they're so stupid. But there's no progression. The way you're describing the film, effectively, the second one is like they've just taken these two same characters and plonked them in nowadays and said, okay, start again. Whereas if you have some sort of development of characters or something.
Well, the start of the second movie is Jim Carrey's he's in a mental institution for 20 years, apparently, since this movie ended. So he's supposed to be there when this movie ended, when Mary left him. or when she went after her husband. And he's supposed to be in a mental institution, but the whole joke, the first 5 minutes of the movie is there. Harry has been visiting him for the last 20 years.
You told me about this, I think,
Yeah, every Wednesday. And then it's a big joke. So Jim Carrey's like, I got you. But he has been getting like, he has a decatheter in. He's been literally a patient to this fucking mental as a joke for 20 years, which, okay, is kind of funny. Like, they play it very fun. But everything from that point is down fucking hill. They don't, literally, Harry says to Jim at the very start of it, look, it's been 20 years, Lloyd. You got to get over her. Mary Swanson was a blah, blah, blah. But they only mention her once. And that's the only tie to the first film. Nothing else. That's it. There's
such a shame.
It's, you know what, buddy? I think they could have wrote a fucking great movie. They could have wrote something so clever, so funny, and they just didn't do it. They just fucking didn't do it. Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels said themselves, they were asked, what was the script like when they handed it to you? And Jim and Jeff literally say in every interview I've ever watched, well, there was a script, but you know, these things happen. And I'm like, lads, why did you not fucking use? So what you've seen, look, I would recommend you watch it and just tell me your fucking opinion.
I think I'm going to have to, just to see how bad it is, to be honest with you. But thankfully,
I'm not even going to go.
I say,
thankfully,
there is 2 bits. Robert Eagle. There's the only bits I found funny was the bits with Robert Eagles. They're I won't tell you about it. But Robert Eagle to me was the funny. Like, he outshone the 2 lads because he's able to move on with comedy to nowadays. When the lads, but it's not as if the lads haven't done fucking movies or acting for the last 20 years. They've been in the limelight. They've been in movies, so they should be able to move with the times. But it's, again, a case of you were handed a script, and my opinion was they thought, we have this legacy behind us, we'll just do what we want anyway. And it didn't. It just
and it never works out like that. And we kind of see that over and over again with most films nowadays that try and look back into the 90s and say, oh, that was a great character, everybody loved it, and they try and do it again, and it's like, no, you've just done a shitty job.
Yeah, but there was not. They did the same jokes, right? The whole Jim Carrey stands at a door of a fucking person's. He says, "You want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?" And Jeff Daniels says, "What?" And he starts ringing the doorbell really fast. He says, "That's not the most annoying sound in the world." He goes, "No, it's the second one." I'm like, "Oh no, it's just a bad joke." Bad joke.
You've just taken a joke that was funny and then just said, "Oh, people like that. Let's do it again." No,
in doing that, you've ruined it in the original movie.
Exactly. You've ruined those characters. So now when you watch them back in the past, you're like, "Oh, please don't grow up to be those assholes I see nowadays." We get a lovely ending to this film, though. I appreciate the ending to this film, and it's funny.
Yeah, this ending is really funny.
One part I have a problem with is that why are all the women in bikinis also driving the bus?
Why not? They should be. Women can drive buses too, Jamie.
I don't know, Darren.
How do you know they're driving the bus?
Because when they actually show them looking in the door, there's a woman within a bikini with like probably no shoes on, driving the bus. And I'm like, I was expecting when they panned in there to be like a guy sitting there being like delighted with himself.
Your real issue that she probably has no shoes on.
She has no shoes on. How would she drive the bus?
Safety, you know?
Yeah, I was thinking, Jamie, of myself, where the fuck are her shoes?
Where are her shoes? How irresponsible. I'm glad they didn't get on the bus because that would have crashed. They would have all been dead. Where are your shoes, people?
Get over those no shoes.
So the bus drives up, basically, a load of bikini models. They say, hey, we're looking for 2 oil boys to spend a couple of months on the bus and oil them up. They're like, oh, wow, well, that's pretty good. You'll want to probably find, go down there. There's a town there and there. You'll be able to find 2 guys, no problem. And then Jim Carrey runs up to the bus and he goes, no, it's not that way. It's that way. I explained the joke badly.
You'll have to excuse my friend. He's a little slow. The town is back that way.
And
I thought that was very predictable. Did you not think that was very predictable?
It was very predictable, yeah. But this is a 27-year-old film. So I think it's okay to be predictable when it's more than 2 decades old. Because
I don't I don't think it would have been predictable back then. I think they would have you would have expected at the end of it, because this wasn't the original end to the movie. Do you know what the original end was?
What?
Based, the hotel they were staying in. You know the guy who have his name here. You know the guy who brought him into the hotel. The
little guy with the butler where he keeps tipping him like hundreds of dollars.
He basically brings him to they're leaving the place and they have the bike outside, and your man says to him, and it's not as funny really, but again, it just come off as dickheads. He says, you know what, guys, I like you. I'd like to offer you jobs here. there's a spare room there. You don't have to pay rent.
Yeah.
And they literally start laughing at him. And Jim Carrey says, in your dreams, fuckface. And they drive off. I'm like, what? That's a harsh fucking. Your man looks at the camera and he says, "Oh well," and he walks away. I'm like, no.
I'm glad they didn't do that. Yeah. I'm glad they didn't do that. That would have kind of ruined it a little bit.
Joe Baker's his name, but they just look at him and say, they laugh for a bit. They laugh for prolonged time, and they hug each other. And they look at him and say, in your dreams, fuckface. And I'm like, there was never a fuck or like that in the movie.
No,
didn't need it.
Didn't need it.
Fucking stupid.
So, fucking fuck faces. So, that was Dumb and Dumber. What a fantastic film. I really enjoyed that. Not as much as I had originally thought that I would have. And so many times have we watched a film and I thought, yeah, I can't wait to watch that film. And then we watched it again and I'm like, oh, yeah, I didn't remember all the bad things about this film.
You have to.
There was no bad things.
Like I said, is it more to do with just having moved on from that type of film, or is it that the film was actually because they're films that we would have enjoyed back then?
I think I've watched films back in that I haven't seen in years and still gone, oh wow, I really enjoyed this because I've missed some bits and I've forgotten that I really enjoyed. But now I watch some films that mostly comedy films, I think, because comedy has changed significantly since the 90s.
Yeah.
Drama really hasn't. Horrors really haven't. They've either gone bad or not hit the mark, where comedy has actually changed so much. You could pick up on a joke quicker than it would be in this film.
No, I don't think comedy has changed. I think it's just people have fucking it's the youth of today. I don't think I think this comedy, myself and yourself.
Oh my god, you're starting to sound like Jamie.
That made me sound so old right there, so I realised that. The youth of today.
Damn you, youth.
I just think comedy, if it's good, is good, and that's fucking it. That's just the end of it. Comedy, I'm not saying this, but I'm talking about more from.
No, I mean that's true. I mean, I still watch older comedians what's his name? Tommy Fez.
Tommy.
Oh my god, I didn't give his name.
Oh, Tommy Cooper. Tommy Cooper.
Tommy Cooper.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, but that's there's some people that kind of live outside of time in that, because you couldn't do that anymore, I don't think. Well, not with Americans, because it's a lot about.
But I think
there is a very different,
English comedy and American comedy only now starts to cross over, really. And now British comedy, which was once really good and punchy and snappy and quick, has turned into American comedy, which is just a bunch of swear words and a bunch of fart jokes and nonsense.
Look at The Office now. The Office started in England and was great. And then, now I love The American Office. I do love it. But they took it over. Same with The In-Betweeners. The In-Betweeners is fucking brilliant. And then it lasted for 3 or 4 episodes in America. But there's a movie that I was going to pick this week. Was Jamie? You've probably seen it. It's called Sunshine Boys. You ever seen it?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh my God, Walter Matthau. It's about these 2 Asian actors who they're in their fucking late 70s. And Walter Matthau, you know Walter Matthau, right? Both of you do,
Yeah.
Grumpy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. His son is an agent, and they're basically an old theatre duo, an old Morecambe and Wise for all the world. But he wants them to go on a circuit again, and these 2 guys fucking hate each other. They hate each other, but they agree to work together. But Walter Matthau will only agree to work with your man if your man apologizes for certain things. Your man won't apologize to him because he knows it annoys Walter Matthau. It's a fucking brilliant movie. It's a class movie. I have
to check that out.
Yeah, I'm actually going to pick it from it. That's my next movie. That's my next pick. I promise you, it's just a movie that is so warm to my heart and just makes me laugh so much. It's a really old classic. Fuck, George
I like
Burns.
Walter Matthau, yeah.
It's fucking. It's to me, it's as good as it's so cleverly fucking written. They're just two comedy guys, and they just hate each other, and they have to work together. But obviously, it goes up.
It's kind of like the opposite of this film, then, where it's like, you know, two funny guys that kind of get along with each other. But yeah,
I'll pick that next. That's my next.
We'll do our reviews now.
Okay.
Drum roll, please. I will give this 6 ass pens and a cap out of 10.
What? So what is that? Is that 8? Is that 6.5? Do you say
That's
6.5 for Dumb and Dumber?
Yes, for this movie, I will give this 6.5 points. I'm sorry, Darren.
I've never been so ashamed of you and so proud. I'm gonna give, dude. You know what? Because it made me so happy. Because I have such fond memories. It's no surprise. I'm gonna give this 10 Samsonites out of 10 Samsonites.
You're giving it 10 out of 10.
I've only given 2.
There you go. Dumb and Dumber is on a par with It's a Wonderful Life.
No!
Dumb and Dumber to me is a wonderful life, Derry. It's a wonderful life watching Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, very good. Derry.
I had a wonderful life growing up watching this movie.
I'm giving it 6 pigeon heads out of 6, or budgie heads out of 6 budgie heads.
6 budgie heads. And maybe a feather that's kind of little blood on it.
And that was a lot of thinking and a lot of adding a couple more points after I thought a bit harder about it.
I think you actually talked me down from a 7, Darren, after talking about the second one. I had to take that into consideration now, to be honest with you. There is...
If you watch the second one and the prequel, have you seen the prequels? Any...
Like the Dumb and Dumber trilogy? No, I haven't even... Oh, there's a Waterford company in that, though. Slushy.
If you watch... Yeah, fucking Slushy. If you watch the prequel... Yeah, but Mick Daniels, who actually is from Waterford, who I've talked about this, Mick actually got asked. He was at home one day and he got a call off the company that do Dumb and Dumber or whatever it was, whatever that fucking place that burnt to hell is. Yeah. They offered him. They rang him and they said, "Look, we'd like to use your product in them because Slush Puppy wouldn't use them. They didn't want their product to be used in the movie, so Slushy wanted. Same as Glee, they used it, but he was He was literally sitting down having a pint in a pub, and he was like, when they rang him, they're like, we'd like to use your product, you know. He said, Graham, fuck off and stop ringing me. I was like, so I started laughing, and he was like, no, I thought he was his brother-in-law, Graham. He was like, so they rang him back then. They were like, no, he's a Graham. I have Jasmine's number. If you fucking ring me again, I want to tell her. So I put down the phone. I was like, tell her what, Mick? He was like, I can't tell you. I was like, okay. Then they rang him back the next day and they were like, no, this is who, like the manager of the business, whoever the company was, rang because they wouldn't believe the secretary. He was like, oh, I thought it was someone taking a piss. He thought it was someone making fun. He was like, no. So he went over and he was there while they were filming the show. And then I had to do, like Mick did some sort of film up in his house and I was there and I was chatting to him with him. And he loves Dumb and Dumber. He loves the movie. And he said, when he saw, he said, I was happy to get the money and happy to be there. He said, but when I saw what they were doing with the movie, he said, I left a week early. Oh my God. He goes, yeah, because it was horrible. He said it was terrible. He goes, the acting, the whole production was run horribly. He said he had talked to the whole cast. Like, and I said, that's okay, buddy. The whole fucking film was terrible. It was shockingly bad.
Well, the guy that actually played Harry and Lloyd actually really looked like the characters. Like, they actually got two...
They didn't at all.
They kind of did now.
No, Jamie, that was a lot of fucking... If you watch that movie again, you see how it was a lot of... Oh, no.
No. Anyway. Well, on average, this film gets a 7 from the 3 of us. So, Darren, your 10 did nothing.
No, my 10 did everything. Screw the boaty. Mock. Yeah.
Ing. Yeah. Bird.
If you watch the sequel, you'll give it a higher rating. Trust me.
Okay, well, I'll watch the sequel, and then I'll come back and then re-review on a later date
Yes.
I could give it a lower one. I could give it a 5.
Fair. I think every movie should be classed as its own movie and not taken as a whole. It should be taken as its own thing.
Yes.
And that's a good way to review.
Movies influence my judgment on this movie.
I'm not objective. I'm horribly biased, and yeah. Well, see, Derry's reviews are honest. Mine are horribly biased, and Darren's are all 10s. So,
fuck you.
So, thank you so much again for joining us this week. Next week, we're going on a little bit of a hiatus. Very hiatus. So next week, we won't be here on the Sunday. We'll be here the Sunday after. What date is that, Derry?
The 7th of February.
The 7th of February. Yes, so the week after next, the Sunday after next. So join us in the new month of February for some lovely, lovely more reviews. I won't announce my pick just yet. We'll be announcing on our social networks on Sunday. This Sunday. I'm not going to announce it. No, I don't want to give people 2 weeks to watch a film. That's unfair. Join the social networks.
I need to research this film.
Subscribe, and then you'll know what film we're watching. There you go.
Yes.
I'm going to do a close-up of the art cam, but I really hope I added people's mics back into this. I did. Oh, no, wait. No, it's just me. Hello, everybody. No, that didn't work out correctly. Forget it.
Did you?
It's just me talking now. Yeah, well, everybody can see the lovely picture in the middle of the screen, but that will also be up on our Instagram. What a fabulous picture that Derry has drawn for us today. And again, one that I wouldn't have expected, but I think it's fantastic. So You're saying there's still a chance, or there's a chance? I love it. Thank you so much again for joining us this week. We will see you on the 7th of February. In the meantime, respect each other, watch some good films, and don't watch... And tell us about them, but don't watch the second one of this. I'll do that for you guys, and I'll report back. Thanks very much, everybody. We'll talk to you soon, the week after next. Bye!